Hello, freak bitches. Hello, everybody. I'm live here with super yogi Bert Kreischer, newly sober athlete, resting heart rate of 47.
47.
That's pretty crazy, man.
I called my cardiologist right after I talked to you guys.
Am I dying?
I literally was like, hey, Joe Rogan said I'm dying. And he was like, first of all, he's like, I respect Joe Rogan, but please don't listen to him about your blood pressure medicine.
But I read somewhere that blood pressure medicine and anti-anxiety medicine lowers your heart rate.
Yes, those are beta blockers.
Yeah.
I'm not on that.
Oh, okay.
But which, by the way, I spiraled out, and then I couldn't get my heart rate up as I was spiraling. Ooh. So I was like, I'm freaking out. Normally my pulse would be through the roof. I called my doctor. He's like, no, you're healthy. He's like, this is what we've been shooting for, is you to stop drinking. So he's like, let's just do what you're doing. He's like, have a good time with it. And so, but yeah, my resting heart rate's low. I've never felt better in my fucking life, to be dead serious with you.
How many days in are you? 12
I have no
days,
idea.
right? We're 12 days in? Today the 12th?
I'm one day ahead of that because I quit the day before. I quit the day before because I listened to you guys and all the fucking armchair doctors who were like, Bert, you're going to die. You need to be medically induced into a coma.
Well, you were telling us that you were drinking 6 doubles a day.
By the way, I talk out of my ass when I'm drunk. So I don't know how much I was really drinking because I was definitely terrified. I was definitely terrified coming into the home stretch of getting sober because I was like, man, am I gonna die? Like I literally was, and I talked to Dr. Drew about it. And I was like, hey, can I like die and stuff? And he was like, well, you can have seizures. Like Dr. Drew doesn't fucking Christ. Help. But I stopped drinking. I didn't even have withdrawals. It just felt good the next day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and
that's what killed Amy Winehouse. You know.
I've Googled all this shit.
But I think Amy Winehouse was just over the top.
You've got to be the second you wake up till the second you pass out drinking. Oh. And by the way, on that Australian tour, there were hints of that. Like there was not. I was flying and performing every night, and I drink on planes. I hadn't flown sober at that time, and so there was. But I've always been very measured with my booze, so I wasn't going nuts.
Did you feel good when you're doing that? Like,
no.
How did you feel when you're drinking and flying, and you felt bad?
I actually felt really bad, and I think we all tweeted this, but I was like, I was ready for this fucking month after that Australian tour. I was definitely ready. That's a great way to go into not drinking, is fly to Australia, do a tour for 2 weeks, and then fly back. Yeah. I was like, fucking bring it, dude.
You know what, man? I don't drink that much, but I feel way better, too. It's weird. It's like I would have like maybe a shot before I go on stage some nights, but some nights not. And then, maybe someone go, you want a beer? Yeah, I'll have a beer. And they have 1 or 2. And then maybe I'd have a glass of wine with dinner. So, on a regular Friday night, I might have 4 drinks. And now nothing for 12 days and no pot. I went off the pot, too.
I know.
Because Ari was giving me such a hard time about,
you can't even quit pot. You're an addict. That's what addicts say.
And I was like, all right. I told Tommy, I was like, I'm just going to quit and not tell them and then break it at the end of the month. Like, it's easy. The pot's been easy, but the dreams have been different. It is really interesting how when you don't smoke pot, your dreams like ramp up. It makes me think like what? No, honestly, like just completely objectively. I mean, like that can't be good to not be dreaming. Like, there's probably something happening.
I was my first few days of not drinking. I couldn't get out of lucid dreaming.
Ooh.
And I was having intense lucid dreams where I was well aware I was asleep, but I knew that if I could I knew that I was dreaming. And I was like, don't get out of this. You're having fun. Wow. And so, but dreaming has been intense. By the way, really my favorite thing is just sleeping good. Like waking up at 6 in the morning and going like,
feel good.
Oh, that and man. And then by the way, and I know that you're like, Bert, are you like a fucking uber fan of podcasters? But there's like a lot of people I have been introduced to through your podcast. And like Brendan Schaub is one of my favorite people. I love that guy.
He's awesome.
And he gets coffee all the time. Now, I look at that. that gives me panic. When I see him get a coffee, for the past year, I've been like, dude, how the fuck is he doing that?
What do you mean?
When I drink, I can't drink coffee because I start shaking. I get way too blood sugary. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Just regular coffee?
I haven't had coffee. I haven't had like a cup of coffee in probably like maybe like 8 months.
Now, what is it about coffee? Do you put something in coffee?
No, it's just coffee.
Just black coffee?
It's yeah, because my blood sugar's low from drinking. I didn't sleep well. I have a cup of coffee, and it just would. And then I would be like, how does Brendan take naps in the middle of the day? Like, I couldn't understand that, dude. I enjoy getting up and going to Starbucks and getting a coffee more than I ever enjoyed going to a bar.
Really?
It is. I get up and I feel like I'm part of the community. I like say hi to people. We landed from that first sober flight I took, and I know that I'm gonna sound like a child. When we landed, it was me and Brendan Walsh was on my flight, and he was like, "Oh,
just randomly."
He randomly was on my flight. I'd talked to him through text the night before, and I was like, "Dude, I'll see you on the plane." We got to LAX, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm hitting up Sober October with you. I'm not gonna drink either." And I was like, "Awesome, man."
Really?
And, yeah. And I said this, and I've never said this. I go, "Hey, do you want to get a cup of coffee?" And he was like, "Sure." We both got coffees at like 10 in the morning at the airport, and I was like, "Oh, I got a whole day ahead of me. Like, I got coffee in me." Like, dude, I had the funnest Sunday I've ever had. That when I got home that night, I was like, I won't be able to sleep without a cup of coffee. I went right to sleep.
Are you worried that this is like right now you're in this really great place, right?
Yeah.
You're healthy, you're feeling good, you're sleeping good. But are you thinking that this is just a vacation from your other life, or are you changing your life?
My therapist, when this started, he said, "Do not do this challenge. I think it's a really bad idea." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah."
What kind of asshole therapist do you have? I've heard this. Like, Christina was mad at him yesterday.
At my therapist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is this therapist telling him to? Because she's got a good therapist that she really likes. But I just don't. Maybe your therapist doesn't trust you.
No, he said to me at one point, he goes, "So how you feeling?" I said, "Good. I'm not having like any epiphany. I wish I had an epiphany, but
Right.
I don't have an epiphany. I'm just enjoying it. I'm really having a good time." I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get back into drinking. And he's like, "That's why you shouldn't have done this. If you want to quit drinking, you should have just done it for yourself. You shouldn't have done it out of spite for Tom, Ari, and Joe."
Yeah, but it's not spite. It's a fun little challenge. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to do 15 fucking yoga classes in a month.
I'm loving
But we're doing
yoga.
it. It's great. But do you really want to have an obligation to have to do, 3 a week?
Yeah.
Do you do it? You really enjoying it?
Dude, I can only work in those parameters. I can
I
only
see.
work to the extremes. Like when we said no pot, no booze, I was like, I'm cool because I'm not going to smoke pot if I'm not drinking booze.
Right.
I'm a teetotaler. Like I take things to an extreme because that's the way I can help compartmentalize things.
But I think my question was, like, at the end of this month, when
Yeah.
November 1st rolls around,
Yeah.
are you going to just go get fucked up?
Well, obviously, yeah. I'm going to be with Ari in New Orleans. Me and
What are
Ari.
you guys doing in New Orleans?
We're doing the Impractical. I'm going on a cruise November 1st.
Oh,
with
wow.
Ari, Big J, Tony Hinchcliffe, Sarah Tiana. Like, we're all going to be on the cruise with the Impractical Jokers.
Those Impractical Jokers guys are killing it.
Dude, they did the Greek.
I saw 6,000 people.
Fucking insane.
Mobbed.
And I would love to have sat in the front row where they sat me and shit on their show.
Ah.
But I can't, man. I would love as a comic to be like, I'm better than this. But man, they four get up there and they have such great chemistry and they're showing like inside clips and it's just a multimedia event.
Oh, so it's not like stand-up. It's like a bunch of different stuff that they do. Like they show like pranks they play on people.
No, they don't show. They show more pictures from like their childhood or like things that because they've known each other forever. Then when they were younger, they tell stories about them traveling together. It actually is really a great show. Like imagine if me, you, and Ari and Tom did a show at the store and we talked about Sober October. Tom and I would have a bunch of stuff very quickly that we could talk
Right.
about our hot yoga classes
Yeah.
and Ari and all our texts. Like one of my favorite things ever is when the eve of Sober October, Ari fucking Ari's such a cunt. He puts out all our texts privately behind that we haven't been sharing with you on Instagram. And
Oh,
Tom goes,
God.
"Tell me that isn't giving you panic right now." Because I don't know what I've said. Like we've all been like, Joe's not quitting weed. And then Ari managed this coup d'etat against you for Pray for Joe. Ari, look, I know Ari gets a lot of shit online and everyone's fucking with Ari. But I will tell you, this has been exponentially fun because of his involvement, because this is right in his little swing zone.
Yeah.
When you said I'm not quitting weed.
Yeah.
Ari then branched off to me and Tom. He's like, "Gentlemen, get ready for the assault on Joe." And both Tom and I are like, "I don't think that's a good idea." And Ari's like, no, it's happening. I want you to get your comments ready. I want them to send in. We're going to workshop each other's comments. I want you to be the first comments on this video that I post on this thing saying Joe's not taking part of Sober October. So we're all setting up. Tom, I love Tom to death, but he's such a cuck. His first draft, Ari's like, this will not be working. It's too pleasant to Joe. Bert and I will rewrite this for you.
Well, Ari has been. I think he's handling this the least.
Yeah.
Like he's struggling. Like he's saying this is harder for me than any of you, and I'm like, I think he's being serious. I think he likes the marijuana for self-medication.
He does, and he has set his life up. And I think if anyone looks at Ari from the outside in, he's set his life up for him.
Yeah.
He's got a nice piece of cake.
Yeah.
Great apartment in
Does what he wants.
East Village. He got all his friends. They all go out every night.
Look at him.
He's got, he's one of the funnest guys if you ever go to New York to just call him up and go, what's the plan for today? And he's like, I don't know. Let's get lost. Let's go find some lobster somewhere.
But he's taking it seriously. Like, he got mad the other day when I was fucking with him, and I sent that text saying that I listened to your podcast, Ari, and it seems you haven't been doing all the poses. But good news is there's still plenty of days in the month to make up for the 15 different hot yoga classes. And he took it seriously and got fucking super mad.
That struck panic in me. If you had told me, hey, Bert, those ones don't count, but you can start over. You still have 15 days. I would have been like, fuck off. Like,
dude, I was only fucking with them. And then my second, I had a two-wing attack. That was the first level. And the second level was like, look, just go to classes, and whatever things that you didn't do from the other classes, you can just redo them on the honor system. We don't have to do the whole class. Just stand around. Like, I was totally fucking with him, but he took it seriously.
He's also by himself in this, I feel like. Like, he's in New York.
Yeah.
So, like,
well, text messages are weird, man. It's not a good way to fuck with people, because you look at it, is this motherfucker serious?
Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, no, listen, asshole, we're all professional comedians, and you're the rudest one out of all of us. He said he hoped you Ralphied.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I didn't understand the context. I go, I hope you Ralphie too. Like, and he was like, no, I hope you Ralphie. And I was like, oh, you want me to die?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Fuck, Ari. He is the most flame-throwing, burn-the-bridge-down kind of guy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
But I think that one of the things that stinks, and I wish this had been part of the bet, I wish it had stayed in. I wish you had gotten him that yellow Corvette.
Yeah.
And I wish that he had stayed in L.A. this entire month and been able to have been a part of it, because there is a communal...
Yeah.
Like today, you're like, hey, podcast at 1:30, you want to go to yoga at 10:30? And I was like, fuck, I got a meeting at 10. But I would have loved that.
Yeah.
And I love Tom will text me and go... it's the fun littleness of this competition is like, Tom's like, hey, I can only go to 4:30. Are you going to 12:30? And I'm like, yeah. And then Tom will be like, well, Bert's a no-show. I'm like, asshole. Everyone look at the distilleries, the donut factories.
The video was hilarious. Check all the hamburger joints.
He is, by the way.
Everyone's having fun fucking with each other, but honestly, I think Ari's taking it seriously. Like, all that pray for Joe's a weed addict, didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I was laughing. I reposted a lot of it.
Oh, that was the biggest. Dude, I went on stage in D.C. that first night, and people were like, we should take a moment of silence. And I was like, yeah, let's take a moment of silence. Everyone bowed their head and we prayed for you. It was so much fucking fun.
Meanwhile, like, not smoking weed for 11 days is one of the fucking easiest things I've ever done in my life. It's not hard at all. I just don't smoke pot. It's not like, wow, how will I go on? I've been having some great sets. Sets have been fun.
Yeah.
Those are I've done probably in the 12 nights, I've probably done like 8 or 9 sets. That's the most sets I've done, no weed, ever.
Really?
Yeah. Like, since I started smoking pot, like 20 years ago. For real.
I did spots at the store the other night, and I had great sets, stone sober. And what's so funny is I have a lot of apologies to issue on this podcast. There's a lot of things that I said when we were drinking that I then did and went, oh, I guess I was a little wrong about that.
Like what?
Like, number one is I don't drink on stage. Like, I didn't realize that there's a difference between not drinking on stage and having a drink with you on stage. There's a little bit of a comfort level knowing I can kill this drink and I don't have to deal with this. Like, and that first night, that Saturday night, I went on with no booze for both shows, And on that late show, I was like, oh, I could use a cocktail. And I definitely drink on stage. Like, I was like, I wouldn't mind a cocktail right now.
So you were thinking before that you didn't drink on stage?
And it's the truth is, I don't mind performing sober. I enjoy it. But I would say, like, if you had said, so do you get drunk on stage? I'd be like, no, never. But I definitely bring drinks on stage with me.
Right, but like if you had a breathalyzer test, like if being on stage was driving, would you get arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
I
you
definitely
drink
get
on
below
stage.
0.8. Yeah, I definitely drink on stage. That's number one, apology issued. Number two is treadmills are not real running.
No, I told you. Dude, you got to come do my course. Do the course I do with me. It's fucking ruthless.
Oh.
Running hills, that's where it's at, man.
Dude, let's just say I didn't really, like I run on the treadmill all the time, and I can easily run under a 10-minute mile. I go on the road, and my first set of miles was like 12-minute miles, and I was in pain.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is not the same. And then I got to a 10-minute mile. I was like, that feels like a fucking sprint.
But you know, you can get. Do we show you those treadmills that are like running?
They're really expensive.
Yeah.
I thought about getting one, but so what I do now is I'm doing
Maybe you
road
can work
work.
out some sort of a deal with them.
Who are
Like
they,
some
Jamie?
sponsors. Go to Rogue Athletics. They're the guys who made the reverse hyper machine that we have in the back, and I'm actually.
It's called True Form.
Yeah,
True Form
pull this shit out so we can see what it looks like. But this thing is different because you're actually pushing your own body weight. There's no machine behind it. It's just got friction to it, and it's got like a slope, and you run up on it, and it really is like the closest thing to running. I still think actual running is better, but that is a very close second. According to $5,000.
They're really expensive. True Form
why
hit
is
me
it
up.
so expensive? They hit you up? What'd
No,
they say?
I'm saying, hey, True Form, hit me up.
Yeah, hey, True Form, we'll fucking do a free ad. We're doing a free ad for you right now, you
Yeah.
fucks.
I don't know who can afford that.
That's a lot of money. Well, some people can. You know, I mean, for sure, some people would be willing. Like if you had to have one piece of equipment in your house, you know, and you budgeted it out, $5,000 is probably worth it if you could actually use it and get in great shape with it. But I really feel like the best way to do it is to just go outside. I mean, I think like especially if you can go somewhere where there's like a dirt trail and like a lake to look at, it makes it more interesting.
It's been one of the cool things about not drinking and getting out and doing road work is my wife calls it source energy of like getting out there and going like, oh, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Life is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I go to the park that like where Joe used to live right by this park. I used to go there all the time and see Joey. And I go to this park once every morning. We go, my wife will walk it and I run it, and I'm loving it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing road work probably 3 times a week, and then twice a week I get on the treadmill, just because I'm terrified of injury and then not being able to run. So I'm trying to run 5 days a week.
What you worried about, like plantar or something? You had that for a while,
I have
didn't you?
plantar fasciitis and it's terrifying. That and shin splints are
Where
my
do you
fears.
get? You get it in the middle of your foot? Like where are you getting that?
Like if this is your foot, like right towards the heel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes it'll happen inside the heel, and you'll feel it like when your heel touches the ground, it feels like glass.
When you first started doing yoga, were you noticing rather that your foot was like unstable, and that like it hurts your feet to try to balance on one foot and do the poses?
I did not notice that per se. I did notice that. What I noticed in the one thing that is the reason I will continue doing hot yoga, or yoga in general maybe, but probably hot yoga because I like the sweat, is my feet are stronger.
Yeah.
Like a lot stronger. Like I was going to say to Bobby Kelly, I was going to text him and go, hey man, you should start going to hot yoga because he has the same problem with plantar fasciitis that I do. And go, it really has strengthened my feet. And when I run now, I have no pain in my feet.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Is Bobby still heavy?
Yeah, he's going on a diet. I was going to say to Skura, we should fat shame him and get him healthy.
Yeah, I'm not that close to them. I can't fuck with them. I can fuck with you guys. You got to know who you can fuck with and who's going to take it seriously. Like I feel like I can't fuck with Ari anymore. Like he takes it seriously.
He just needs to get. He needs over the hump of hot yoga.
And he needs to get high.
Yeah,
He needs a little weed and a hug.
he might need a little weed.
We love you, Ari.